Good morning, everybody. I just want to say first that I am honored to have the opportunity to be your principal. And I wanted to invite you to this first meeting, which would be the reporting of my professional development plan for the upcoming school year and my set of goals for us as a school and for us as an administrative leadership team. First, want to give you a quick overview, and this is no secret, on what people were saying in the past 2 years that I've been a teacher here and involved in all of the community forums. What people are saying is that as a school, they felt we were lacking leadership, lacking a visibility and accessibility. And this visibility and accessibility was to the teachers, to the students, and to the community. And lastly, a lack of academic support. And we have documents that support this, that teachers had reported, and I was in meetings where teachers reported that they hadn't been seen for, but the 2 times they're supposed to be seen each year over a 10-year period of time. And I really want to make a change to that. And so all of these lack ofs are going away. And how we're going to address this is through clear leadership, clear reportable visibility, and clear and reportable academic support. And I want to start with my plan, or our first administrative initiative, or my first administrative initiative. And I think this is going to be something that's going to take a little while for you guys to absorb and digest. But when you look at it in a long term and how it's going to really impact our school, I think that you're going to really embrace it. And part of this plan is a centralizing of the administration location. So many of us, including myself, will be having a shared office. We're going to have a shared clerical staff and a shared conference room. So there is no more principal's office. There's going to be a shared office where the administration is. As a matter of fact, I'm going to break it down into 2 areas. It's going to be in the instructional headquarters and then the student services headquarters. In the instructional headquarters, we're going to convert where the attendance office is and that office next door where Sandy is, and we're going to make that where our shared secretary for the STEM supervisor, the supervisor of CTE and the arts, and my assistant principal in charge of humanities will be. My secretary will also be there, and I will be in the shared office with you. We'll have 4 different cubicle areas and then a shared conference area where you can conference with teachers, or we can conference with ourselves, or you can conference amongst yourselves as well. In the student services area, we're going to take the dean of students. His office is no longer there, and we're going to move him up with our assistant principal for discipline. And they're going to have a shared secretary. This will allow for better accountability. We're all accountable to each other. And no one can ever say, hey, he spends all this time in his office, or hey, she's not accessible. Well, we know that because we're going to be monitoring each other and supporting each other. Guidance is going to stay where guidance is because they're already doing that. Then I want to move our facilities manager up to the room next to where our athletic and activities director is, and they'll have a shared secretary in between, because more times than not, some of the issues that our athletics or our activities have are facilities based, and we can't find our facilities manager. Well, if we know where he's supposed to be, then we'll be able to find him. And then special education will move into my old office, and the secretary, Sandy, will be out when you first walk in right there. And then Michael will have his office in the back. Now, with regards to visibility and academic support. This is one of the three tenets of our initiative this year. We'll have visibility and academic support. All administrators, including myself, will see 4 teachers per day for at least 15 minutes. That's 20 teachers a week that we'll be able to see. Every 5 weeks, you'll see the whole staff. And when I say 4 teachers per day, it won't be the same 4 teachers. I want you to rotate through all of our teachers so you get to see what all of our teachers are doing. And best practices, maybe not so great practices. And when we're having our meetings and we're talking about some difficulties we might be having in certain areas, you'll have already seen it. You'll have been in there. And teachers have reported that they wanted to see us more. Well, it could be one of those be careful what you wish for. But I really think that our being out there, and if they really are earnest about our support, they're going to be happy that they're going to be seen almost every day by one of us. So within that week, you should be able to observe 2 full classes. And when I said 15 minutes, well, you could go 15 minutes in 4 periods. We have 8 period days. Or you could start in period 2, you go to one class for 15 minutes, leave, go next door to the next class for the last 15 minutes. And then next period, do the same thing. We have 8 periods a day. And for us to not be seeing teachers and not being around our students, I think is doing them a disservice, and at the same time, not really we're not really doing our jobs. We can see all teachers at least twice per year. All of our teachers at least twice a year, probably 3 times. And then all administrative meetings will be at 3:05. I will not have an administrative meeting during the day unless there's an emergency. Something's happened, something we need to address. Otherwise, all administrative meetings that I will be calling will be at 3:05. And we're going to have them on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And why 3:05? Because by that time, our teachers are gone. And we should be available to them until 3:05. Departmental meetings should happen twice per month on a Tuesday. So every other Tuesday or the first 2 Tuesdays, however you want to do it. But I want you to have 2 meetings per month, because there's going to be an initiative later on that we're going to discuss that I want you to take care of. And all pre and post observations, if you can, and this is not always possible because students stay after school and work with teachers, and teachers are here till 3:05 helping students and sometimes beyond. Try to make your pre and post observation meetings at 2:35, unless you have a 0 period person and they leave at 2:35. So then you do that one during the day. And note that the observation will count as one of those 4 contacts. And the minutes of your meetings will be shared with the rest of the administrative team, probably on that Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what our agenda is, so that everybody's aware of what's going on. Because I want to promote more cross-curricular instruction and initiatives. And if we know what we're doing in each of our departments, we're more apt to make that connection. Okay? Now, the second initiative is community outreach. I want each of us a minimum of 1 afternoon per month. 1 afternoon per month at the sending district. And what that could be is you're going to observe what's happening in the science chemistry classes, or you're going to see what they're doing in science down in the elementary schools, or you're going to be sitting on the floor in kindergarten seeing them do literacy. I want you out there. I want people to know who we are. I want the young Hornets, the future Hornets, to know who we are. And this includes me. And I'm not going to just be out there meeting with the principals, I'm going to go out and see what's going on in the classrooms. It's important. I want attendance of a community or community school presentation in your discipline per quarter. And that might not be possible in your discipline. So just go see one. Yeah, there's a play going on. There's an assembly going on. The fact that you're out in the districts, you're going to know that things like this are happening. And you're going to attend it. And I want you to see what they're doing, because they may be getting exposed to things that we want to piggyback on, or we want to also be part of. So it's important that you attend community or community school presentations. A community presentation could be something at the library. And if our libraries are supporting us and they're a hub, I think that's important. Or something at town hall. That's a community happening. Also, establishing one special scaffolded curricular project per year. And this is going to be the theme of our fall professional development. Our fall professional development is going to be about what can we do that will take the whole community, all three of our sending districts and us, and develop special programs. A science program, something that's scaffolded down. So we start with, elementary biology in 3rd grade. We do more biology in 7th grade, and then students do bio in 10th grade. Taking our curriculum, and we repeat fractions. We do fractions each level. Something that's going to be curricularly rich and will allow our students to model for the other students why it's important, or how it develops from the elementary of 3rd, 4th, 5th grade through the middle school of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade up into the high school of 9 through 12. And that brings us to our professional improvement plan for you guys. This whole project here, or this whole presentation, is my professional improvement plan. But for you, I'm going to have a set of goals, and it'll be clear how we'll assess it. And I think that this is an easy set of goals and a very transparent way of assessing it. So the first thing was increased visibility. How am I going to assess that? Easily. Through your documented visit log. You saw these 20 teachers each week. Here's what they were working on. Here's what they were doing. And that's it. The second thing, increased community outreach. Once a month you went out somewhere. You put it on your log. You visited this community outreach program, or you went into this classroom, or you met with these teachers, and that's what you're doing. And then the last one, which is going to be a shared goal with our faculty, is the solving of one problem or shared goal. And you're going to develop a pilot. If each of you took one thing in the district that you thought needed an improvement, whether it's instructional, whether it's social, emotional, whether it's disciplinary, whether it's in activities, find something, an initiative, and with your team, develop a pilot for it. And you're going to share this as one of their PIPs as well. So their third PIP, or their first PIP, will be to develop a pilot for something and solve a problem in the district. Could you imagine if all 11 of us solved a problem in the next 10 to 12 months, and then next year did it again, and then next year did it again? Well, we would really have a tremendous impact on our school. And here's how I want you to do it. I'm not going to give you an assignment like I wouldn't when I was with my students. Give them an assignment that I haven't thought through how we were going to do it and how we we're going to assess it, or to do it myself. And the first one is, we're going to define the problem. And I want you to identify the stakeholders, those students or teachers or community members who will be impacted by this. Quickly, a thumbnail facility or budgetary impact that this might have. And then a timeline for the solution. How long is this going to be? A 4-year plan? We're going to pilot it after the first year, but we really won't know if it works until the 4th year. Or is this something that's quicker? All right. From there, then we're going to create and meet with your committee. And your committee might be your department. And then develop some subcommittees accordingly, so that you're breaking it up within your own group. And working through the possible outcomes of, is it going to be, here's the pros to doing this, here's the cons to doing it. Meaning that if we do it and it fails, here's what might be the result. And when you think that way, it makes you rethink your plan so that there's only pros. And lastly, I want you to identify a pilot solution. Once you've identified the pilot solution, you then launch the pilot initiative. It's a pilot. It should be small. It's not district-wide or school-wide. It might be just in one class, just to see how it works. And then from there, we will assess the pilot. And after assessing it, if the assessment comes back that it's less than optimum or just fell a little short, well, we bring it back to the committee, bring it back through the gauntlet, and come back until we find ourselves with an assessment that is positive. Now, this might happen the first time, and that would be great. But if it doesn't, it's part of the process. And what we're doing is we're growing as we are trying things out. And if the assessment is positive, then we launch a broader program, which will require budget and facilities and maybe teaching staff and the like, and further training and the like. Okay. Now, my expected outcomes, if we are able to take this program and implement these changes, are going to be, I think, easy to attain, and will result in greater student and staff engagement, increased student involvement and success, and increased community awareness and support. And people won't wonder why Passaic Valley High School. They'll be saying, why not Passaic Valley High School? I know this is going to be an initiative that is foreign to most of us. It looks like it's going to be a lot of work, and it is. Well, we get paid well to do some work. So now we're going to earn our checks, all of us, and no one will ever question what we do, where we are, who we are, because we're going to be the backbone of our school. And we're going to support everybody, support our students, support our teachers, support our staff, and support our community. I want to thank you guys for taking the time. And as I always say, let's just make it happen.